rise and reach for the stars, wild pack. It's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Zodiac Tarot readings for August 2021. And all I can say before we jump right in there is fever in the morning, fever all through the night. You give me fever, fever. Y'all, holy cow, go get a cold drink because this month's horoscopes are hot, hot, hot. And we're going to get right in there as soon as you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the little ringy dingy bell thingy. Give this video a like, share all these videos around social media. It's very helpful to me and the animal allies, and I appreciate you so much. And so, interestingly enough, the Cardinal, the red Cardinal, has shown up for everybody for August, which is super cool because just a week or so ago, or a couple weeks ago, red Cardinal showed up for one of the daily tarot readings. And the message was the first one I've ever really gotten from Cardinal like that, which is it was there to help everybody be able to communicate with their ancestors and hear them. And mediumship was a big deal going on in that particular tarot card reading. So for this month, what's interesting is Cardinal has come for all the zodiac signs. This is the overview, the overview horoscope astrology prediction for everybody. And really, this is about ancestral protection. And what that means is, cardinals are one of the great indicators that winter is turning into spring and that new beginnings are about to come into your life. Cardinal working with you as an animal spirit guide or animal ally. If you're through the depths of summer, in the northern hemisphere at least, and then you might feel like you've just kind of emerged from a dark winter. And that is summer. You can just feel so like heavy and just bogged down by the heat and whatnot. But there's it's a dry heat. That's what everybody in Florida says. I wish I lived in some place where there was a dry heat instead of the sauna that I live in. But it's true. A wet heat can feel very oppressive, whereas a dry heat, it can be darn hot. But it doesn't have that heavy quality out, in it. And so when you start to transition from that oppressive heat to the heat that a cardinal will bring, it then merges from like slogging through everything to passion and fire and lightness of spirit where you can just go Jetson, right? So what Cardinal is asking for you to consider for this month is that it's here to help you initiate changes, and especially changes that require you to be bold and outspoken. I mean, let's face it, a male red cardinal wants to be seen. That color red, wowzers, it is, you can see that color red coming a mile away. It is so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. Cardinal, listen, it's beautiful. So you might be now in kind of a unique position to enter into transitional spaces and places. And you may be given some unusual insight into different realms as well. And that's going to harken back to the Cardinal as a spirit and totem and power animal. Its symbolism is very much wrapped in family blood ties. It's very tied into communicating with folks on the other side who many people feel like come to them as red cardinals, and they do. And so also there is a, gosh, if I can remember the phrase, it's called gynandromorphic. And it's where some species will sometimes have both the male and female present in them. And that has to do with physique and, lots of different kinds of things. But in the cardinal community, how they've been spotted is literally half of their body is that flaming red, which is the male component. And then half of their body is that more muted brown color. And so that's also the hearkening that you might be kind of a walker in both worlds during this time. Now, remember that, when you get those insights, if you're just be open to opportunities to go behind the scenes, kind of in your career, witnessing, or your life, just being witness to processes that you're not normally privy to, that's going to be very helpful because you may also be called on to be a forerunner or a leader on a new project in a family, In some cultures, Cardinal is considered super lucky. So going out on a limb, quote unquote, might bring good fortune now. Cardinals mate for life, and this might be an ideal time to focus on partnerships, home, family. But I always say that when you're focusing on partnerships and relationships, that may not always be outside of you. It may be with yourself, about yourself, if that makes sense. So that is good because, if it is a relationship that is all about romance, it might become more serious now, and you may have a chance to make the casual become a little more official. Pay attention to the partners outside of the outside of that kind of romantic sphere who help you accomplish your goals as well, because that's a romance in and of itself, a different kind, but it's still a romance. And if you've had struggles with your family recently, remember, cardinals are red, the color of blood. It's like the bloodstone in healing crystals. They're very much considered a family, blood crystals are a family stone. The family stone. Don't get me started singing those songs. And the cardinal is certainly, certainly means that as well. So you might find a new phase of like harmony and healing for these relationships. You may find that your loved ones are able to find happiness. Maybe they've been without for a while, and just maybe kind of your whole clan or your whole tribe, your whole fam. Peace and joy at home is a lot more likely now. You might also be on the verge of entering a new proverbial kind of season in your personal life. And this is, Lordy, this is not a time to cling to the past, but really to trust your wisdom. Have faith in embarking on new projects or embracing new opportunities. It's the right time to do it. So don't be scared. Remember, when you got a flaming red bird, it's like the people that wear very bright colors or have very bold energy. They are not afraid to be seen. And so August 8th brings the new moon in Leo, and that's got your creative energy flowing, and you might feel more emboldened now than you normally do. And it's a really good time to step in the spotlight, whatever that means for you. Make your point in an entertaining way, share your gifts with others, show your generous side. This can also be a great time for leaderships and tasks that require you to express your individual talents. Be bold, and your efforts will be rewarded. Don't be scared. Now, on August 11th, Mercury enters Virgo. And while some people feel this transit more intensely than others, if you just be open to cleaning, organizing, and revising your budget and diet routines, health may be a focus for you now. And this is a great time for any kind of research or analytical task. On August 16th, Venus enters Libra, and will now have a number of planets in the sign that they rule. So the full roster is Neptune in Pisces, Mercury in Virgo, and Venus in Libra. That means matters of love, romance, beauty, and compassion. It's all in the forefront. It's very heightened. A lot of emotional energy around that. So focus on the projects that require collaborating with a partner or, even groups of people, any kind of partnership. Let me just say that. On August 19th, Uranus goes RX in Taurus, and that becomes a third planet to currently be in retrograde motion, accompanied by Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. Now, during this time, things can be a little edgy. The energy can be a little erratic, because it's Uranus. And it can seem a little stifled a bit, as retrogrades are a little more about introspection and planning than action. Still, though, when it comes to Uranus, expect the unexpected, like always. So, on a global, communal, and personal scale, you might be challenged to face insecurities and fears, so you can finally break away from, whatever has been making you feel that way. Stubbornness is not going to serve you now, and it's really, really time to go to a much deeper level. But it doesn't have to be like all serious. Uranus can help keep you in your lighter spirit, maybe go about this in a little more quirky kind of way. It doesn't have to be such heavy introspection, right? Some of the greatest insights can come during some of the most brilliant moments of levity. Now, unexpected changes may lead you to consider how you redefine your worth and values. And then August 22nd, Sun enters Virgo, and you might become more reserved and cautious. This is a great time to address any health issues or bad habits that are stopping you from living up to your fullest potential. Then we've got the double full moon in Aquarius, named as such because it's the second full moon in Aquarius in this year. and you might be feeling an intense surge in intuition and creativity. This is a great time to flex your creative and innovative muscles. Epiphanies may come easily, and they're hard to come by. So if they're coming easily, take them while they're hot, right? Be open to quirky or unusual ideas, or, they may not be quirky or unusual to somebody else, but you might be like, what? Where did that even come from? It came from your higher self. It came from the divine. And even if it seems quirky or unusual for you, it's going to help you express your very unique gifts into the world in a unique way. And the world does not need more cookie cutter anything, right? No, we like original. So on August 30th, Mercury enters Libra, and your style of communication can become more flirtatious and diplomatic. This is an ideal time to have otherwise kind of difficult conversations, as it might be easier for you to express your ideas in more compassionate and caring ways. It's also an ideal time for creative writing or expressing yourself through any kind of visual arts, making romantic plans. I just want to take a second and pause on the romantic plans. That can mean romance with a partner. It can mean romance like I'm gonna romance myself. I don't know why I'm being told this, just I hear it over and over and over again in my psychic mind. Anything that strikes you or feels like a romance, invest in it. It can really pay off for you in the future. But please be sure to watch for indecisiveness. This is a placement notorious for creating procrastination. And so if you've got to employ friends and family to help you with your decision-making process, if you're feeling stuck, please do that. And also work with Cardinal. Red Cardinal is your spirit totem and power animal. And all of that will be resolved, and you'll have a smoking hot, instead of it's so hot, right? You don't want to have an it's so hot August. You want to have a smoking hot August. So I hope that was helpful. Make sure to watch all the individual videos for your individual Zodiac Tarot readings. And I will see you next month. But as always, what are the most important things? Do good for animals, including yourself, and stay wild.